you get preparation for data quality and preparation for data migration. Preparation for data quality is usually known. Data quality, when you're writing a profiler, you're looking at a system, you already know what the files are, you already know what the tables are, you already know what they contain. What you're trying to do is find problems and misalignments between those data fields. So, but the thing is with it, it's all known. Data migration, part is known, which is your target system. You know what you're going to put it into, but the problem is you have an element of unknown, which is your feed. All the data that's coming in is completely unknown. You've never seen it before, you don't know what it is, you don't know what the structure is, you don't know anything. So this has to be fully analysed, yeah, for migration. So you do a migration analysis on all this unknown data. Now there are certain elements that you need to be aware of when you're looking at unknown data. I think, as we talked to Arvid yesterday, we are getting aware of what's going on. So first of all, you have to identify all the feeds that you've got. So you've got a process where you've got a feed coming in, it has this is a structure. So, but what does it contain? So the first thing you've got to do with most of your fields is just look at it. Just say, well, what type of fields have I got? What type of statuses have I got? How are the build cycles written? How's that? Just build up a view of how the data you're receiving comes in. Yeah? Just again, go and point back to Arvin, we're looking at one table that has multiple different types of orders. So you've got to identify what types of orders can you get, what are the statuses you get on there. So how do you build and how do you process that to get what you want in the end, which is just a view of a CLI. I mean, straightforward. I mean, logically, the same thing for these two is the fact that you're just looking at one CLI. Is it aligned in these systems? What are the data do we get for a CLI for migration purposes? Yeah. The next thing is alignment. It is applicable, but I'm going to say it's not applicable because logically, when you're doing Profiler, you would logically expect everything to be aligned. CRM to be aligned with single view, BMX to be aligned with CRM and single view. Alignment here is a lot more difficult because you've got all these multiple feeds. So how do you prove the alignment for a data migration is right? How do you prove, or how do you align the data from OSS to the data you receive from Source, from Tesco, from Vodafone? You have to start aligning all that, and you have to make sure they are all aligned. Because it's no good processing a file from Tuesday when you've got a later feed on Thursday. So Thursday says, oh, this is what the status is. You're trying to compare it against something which is 2 days old. That just isn't going to work. So in a way though, that does apply sometimes over here, because we do see that where in the warehouse the feeds aren't updated. So therefore you do get a natural misalignment. But you have to look for it. If you don't know it's there, then everything you report could be wrong. And everything you build could be wrong. The next thing is process. So how do you process things? What's the difference? Does anybody know subtly the difference between data quality and data migration in a process term? Does anybody have a clue? Anybody? This one is pretty obvious. Do you know what the process definition is for a DM? This is going through the process of what you do in simple terms. Does anybody know this one? Right, if I write this down, then you probably do remember it. Right? Migration is ETL. Extract, which is all your feeds, transform, and load. Is that what you do for DQ? No, it's not. It's definitely not what you do for DQ. Oh, sorry, I'm your way over there, aren't I? So what you do for DQ is, yes, you do extract, but there's no transformation because you don't need to, you know what the data is. So what you do there is you process it, and you don't load it anywhere, you report it. So that's what your profiler does. It extracts, processes and reports misalignments. Migration is not that. You extract, you transform it, because most of your data isn't going to be how you want it, and then you eventually finish up loading that into a target system. So you've got two different processes for migration and data quality. So just get into your heads that migration analysis has a lot more work to do here than there is over here. So just everybody starts to pick that up, then you'll understand where we're coming from. And then basically, your process then is to go forward and identify issues. So you then start to bring all these together, because you get your alignment. So as soon as you've got your data aligned, you can start to do some sort of analysis of what's going on. So for this, your feeds, which is the other thing you need to make sure, feeds are just your application, whatever application you're looking at, whether you're doing a TV review report or you're doing a mobile report, whatever. You just get the data from your applications, you know what the data is, you just apply it, just look across and align it and say, oh no, this is underbilling, this is overbilling, this is doing whatever. Feeds over here, you have to start aligning, you have to figure out where the feeds are coming from. So the obvious ones is you have a network feed, which is OSS. So OSS will give you feeds. So all your network stuff is basically OSS based. Now here, there are logically 3 ways you should know where the OSS is, the state wherever it is. So you've got your, well, in fact there's 4 feeds if you really think about it, because you've got your forecast. So your forecast is telling you what you're planning to do. Then you've got your order placement, which is your templates. So you know the detail that's going in to an order.